Hey, yo, what up, fight fans? Welcome back to my channel, and on today's video I'll be breaking down the massive main event between Rowdy Ronda Rousey and Gina Conviction Carano. So most people are picking Ronda just because of Gina's long layoff, but I wanted to actually dive into the tail of the tape to see how these styles clash. After studying the film, my final prediction is a slight lean towards Ronda Rousey, although this was a very difficult pick, and here's exactly why. So, first, let's start with Ronda's offense. There is a reason why she is one of the most dominant champions in history. Her Olympic judo throw accuracy is an elite 68%, and she averages a massive 6.26 takedowns per 15 minutes. Once she locks in her signature head and arm clinch, her leverage is unstoppable. On the ground, her scarf hold transitions are flawless, allowing her to isolate an arm and secure submissions in under a minute. However, there is a major structural flaw in her grappling game. Ronda Rousey does not shoot. She doesn't dive for single or double legs from a distance. She requires that upper body clinch to utilize her leverage. This style makes her entries linear and predictable. On top of that, Ronda historically lacks head movement. In her loss to Holly Holm, she got frustrated, stood on the center line, and then in the Nunes fight, she threw a lazy kick. It was a front kick, and then Nunes was able to capitalize on that and then stun her, completely breaking her composure. So if you hit Ronda cleanly, her historical reaction is to panic, freeze, and chase wildly. So you wouldn't even so you would think an elite striker like Gina Conviction Carano could exploit this. At her best, Gina is incredibly dangerous on the feet and even on the ground too. She has a high volume Muay Thai pedigree, landing 4.50 strikes, significant strikes per minute. In her prime, she used elite offline 1-2 combinations and a punishing Thai clinch filled with brutal short elbows and knees to completely overwhelm her opponents, which could definitely give Ronda some trouble in the clinch. But when you sit down and watch the film of Gina's fight against Julie Kedzie, the historical myth of her striking, it kind of exposes a hole that Ronda will be able to take advantage of. First, Gina doesn't usually throw jabs, at least from what I've seen in the Julie Kedzie fight. She doesn't have a natural straight piston jab to stick in Ronda's face to keep distance. Instead, her hands are out wide. She throws lead hand slaps and loops heavy overhand rights, which, don't get me wrong, those can hurt Ronda, but because she leaves that lane wide open down the center, a smaller fighter like Kedzie was able to blitz straight through her guard and land punches cleanly. Second, Gina lacks the lateral movement. She doesn't circle out at sharp angles like Holly Holm. She moves in straight lines, which means she's going to back herself against the cage most likely. And finally, her 85% takedown defense statistic, that can definitely hold up against Ronda Rousey for a little bit maybe, but over time, I feel like Ronda will be able to start grinding more and getting takedowns. Although Gina Carano does seem to have elite takedown defense, you have to factor in who she's defending those takedowns against. None of her opponents are on the level of Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is an Olympic level judoka. So yeah, she built her 85% takedown defense rate against regional strikers from 2008 who didn't want to wrestle. So in the Kedzie fight, Julie actually timed her and took her down. If Julie Kedzie could put Gina on her back, then Ronda Rousey absolutely can if Ronda goes in with the right game plan. This is why I'm slightly leaning towards Ronda, because Gina lacks a true distance jab and lateral footwork. She's going to naturally move backwards in a straight line. That plays right into the trap. Ronda Rousey doesn't need to shoot. She just needs to march forward, cut off the cage, which I don't really think she's going to do, because Ronda was chasing Holly Holm as opposed to going from angles, cutting the cage, etc. And she needs to wait for Gina to throw a looping hook. The only reason Ronda is a slight lean, in my opinion, is due to the fact that Gina Carano, although she is an elite level striker, she doesn't really possess the power of Amanda Nunes, nor the footwork, distance management, and lateral movement of Holly Holm. So Gina doesn't really have that instantaneous concussive flash power of Amanda Nunes to put Ronda to sleep with one shot. But if Gina can time a perfectly placed overhand right or a hook down the pipe while Ronda is crashing forward blindly, Ronda's panic habit could cost her. But statistically and mechanically, Gina's wide hooks leave that exact open lane that Ronda needs to crash the distance, lock up the clinch, and get the finish on the mat. So that's my breakdown. Let me know in the comments who you guys are picking, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Goodbye.